Okay guys, we'll be playing a game called Kona today. It's supposed to be, I guess, a horror game? It looks like a horror game from the trailer. It just came out on Xbox, so... And also, when this video does get done uploaded, I will announce the winner for the Mass Effect giveaway. Without further ado, I'm the Gaming Shepherd. Let's get this started. I do know you're a detective from the trailer, but that's pretty much it. Well, that's great. My batteries are low, apparently. Hopefully they won't die during this video.
Carl Colbert sought information for a living. That is to say that ever since he returned from Korea, after having served with the armed forces, he had been working as a private investigator in Montreal. William Hamilton, a rich industrialist, had gotten in touch with him regarding a simple vandalism issue. Nothing to write home about. Not worth hiring a private eye either, just so he can drive for hours on rough roads. But that's how it had always been. The client pays, Carl gets it done.
Oh, I can actually drive.
They had set up to meet at the general store, his client's business. Well, actually, the entire village had William Hamilton's name written all over it. When the roads were bad, muddy, or snowed in, it was customary around these parts to close them off. But it was also customary to ignore those signs entirely and drive there anyway.
Okay. How often does a road need to be closed to require 2 picnic tables at its gate? Wow. The hell? There's some Indians are here.
Emperor Duplessis, in spite of his conservative agenda, did a good job in colonizing the rural north, which helped to reestablish the region as an integral part of the province of Quebec. The blue fleur-de-lis could be seen fluttering in the wind here and there, taunting the red Canadian flags on the other side of the province's boundaries.
So you tap A, he kind of does like a little run. And L3 does it too, so I don't know what the point of that is. Yeah, we'll be good. Yeah, y'all can pause if y'all want to read that. Huh.
Hamilton never mentioned a road-blocking barrier. Why was it needed here in the back of Beyond? That would, however, be a mystery for another day. Carl had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it. Still not a soul in sight. There was no point in waiting any longer. Carl had to figure this one out by himself. Hamilton is waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to get down to business. William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern forests, not too far from here. The local populace was divided when it came to the affluent men. Some saw a wealthy philanthropist dedicated to improving the region's economy. Others an aging Englishman who would do anything to further his fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to go on about scheming against him.
Okay, yeah, I guess it was a man.
Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses, but the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people. Given these circumstances, Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another. So far, only the industrialists' house had been a target, but soon enough, Carl thought, the target would become the man himself.
Are we dead? A few hours later.
Carl needed to get out of there. The cold and the pain required urgent care.
I just saw their stats.
Scratches did not stop Carl. His mother would be so proud. The driver had taken off. It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance. Carl needed help.
Girl,
Such heart-wrenching Nordic poetry that was. But Carl didn't care much about flowery language.
I would defend purity against the wind and tides, against ice and blizzards. Okay.
It was a small, locked box engraved with the letters W.H. Carl thought about taking it. Nothing was to be left to chance.
Shit. I don't know where to go. Oh, this is convenient.
Even better than he had hoped. Carl Faubert had succeeded once more, and was now on his way to new adventures.
Okay.
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes anymore.
Okay, hang on. You have the ranger tower?
Cold turned into pain. Carl needed to find someplace warm.
Shit, there's nothing up here.
ever diligent in his work, always carried his log on him, in which he scribbled down thoughts and leads alike during the course of his investigations.
I'm a private detective who pays the bills along my veteran's pension for my time free. Usually I'm hired to track unfaithful husbands. So how do I heal myself? So there has to be a first aid somewhere. Oh, so it'd be the point of coming up here. It wasn't there. Otherwise, there's nothing up here. Well, I need a key to get into the lock. Which? I don't have. Oh, that's first aid. That's rations. Turn on. Okay, I don't know what to do. Turn that objective up. So I would figure, that it would be that could heal me. Unless it's bugged out. Oh, I'm gonna go outside and see if I take back that truck. What the hell is going on? Please don't let me hit somebody. I cannot see shit in front of this car. You guys can play it.
Spread out on a few acres of untouched forest, bellowing caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes, The Manistan region was no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry. The truck was running on fumes. Good thing that the general store was close by.
How does he know the general store is close by? I can't tell you what that is. I don't know if it's loading. Okay, so it was loading. Okay. Shit, that first lane thing crashed too. Check out that truck.
Carl felt that the store and its surroundings still held their secrets, and he didn't like to miss out. That had to be the worst parking job ever. Who was Carl to judge, though? It may be customary to park like that around these parts, or not.
What the fuck is this narrator?
The pumps wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store. Something fell to the bottom of the box. Carl had no trouble recognizing his employer. He had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out. But only a detective could have noticed that the killer had to have been very close, that the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized. What could be inside that envelope? Carl was taken aback. He knew this address. It was said to be the address of the P.O. box for the Canadian Secret Service. An explosion suddenly occurred outside.
Let me rob the register. Sherry wine, okay.
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas.
Would it be luxury
Wait,
in here?
was it about bears?
General store also serves as a post office for locals.
Jumping from that height was akin to tempting death. Perhaps that man on the snowmobile had seen enough of this world already. A nice picture of the Magasin Lachance store, seemingly taken the day it was first opened. It feels frozen in time, from an era long forgotten.
Of course. Hold on.
Carl knew that Gilles Lachance was in charge of the general store. That made him one of Hamilton's employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see. According to that log, it seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his hands on, though.
My truck's on fire.
A radiator without power is as good as a wood stove without logs.
The explosion occurred. know it's fragile. Okay. Is there a point to coming in here? I'd figure, right?
Staring intently at the controls won't be enough to make that lift budge. The poor thing was out of power.
Where the fuck's the generator at? Now I wanted that crowbar. What is that?
Carl was used to strange phenomena, but a chunk of ice like this, as if an iceberg came out of the ground, that was a first.
Huh? What's with the glowing? You see footprints?
Prince? Carl found a surprise at every turn. Was the camera faulty, or was there a possible lead? Carl was no electrician, but he could identify a wiring problem when he saw one.
I did look in all these, correct? Correct, I did, okay.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
Okay, well that's interesting. The cleanest spot in the area. So where is the damn scissors I need or whatever?
The crowbar was stuck under the lift. Notwithstanding Carl's imposing stature, car lifting wasn't part of his skill set yet.
Huh. They have to be missing something. Like clearly obvious.
A milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit. The Polaroid, Carl's long-standing and faithful ally, had seen its share of husbands caught red-handed cheating. There's always something out there waiting to be snapped away.
These crystals.
Carl wondered what the hell could that thing be. It looked like a man fossilized in ice. All of a sudden, Carl felt like he was pulled inside a world of dreams, a cold, unknown dimension. Somehow, self-control was slipping from his grasp.
So he's running from wolves?
To all appearances, this was a hunting log. Better yet, a war diary.
Ice is everywhere. I need to exercise patience, wait for it to come out. Think of blank paper.
Beast often invades the settlements bordering the lake and terrorizes the white people. They never see it coming, but they feel its presence. Cold dread grabbing at their ankles. The beast exercises the wolves, makes them more aggressive. One attacked me. I had to cut its throat. Blade digging into the flesh made the sound of a taut wire. The beast is getting closer to the villagers and moves at night, bringing heavy snow and strong gusts of wind along with it, and traffic to no avail. We do not know the white men are frozen in ice and they do their lists. It is the work of the beast. It attacks, curdles the blood of the victim. White man knows nothing of the force of nature. I touched ice as prisoner white man. I saw things, but I do not understand them. Okay.
What could these engraved numbers mean? A fresh path suddenly appeared before Carl.
So why am I following in the opposite direction of these footprints? That seems to be a terrible idea. Oh, the blue truck, hey.
Carl had that feeling you get when you immerse your frozen hands in hot water. What happened? Now at least he knew who the unfortunate man petrified in ice was. Gilles Lachance, the general store's manager himself.
Okay, well that's interesting. Well, I'm gonna end it right here, guys. Please don't like, subscribe if you like the content. And whenever this video goes up, I probably will be announcing the winner of the Mass Effect drama. So please watch out for that. And I'm gonna find that damn thing I needed to get the generator working before I come back to this, but I don't know where the hell it is. See, it has to be in there. I know it has to be. It's like the only spot it could be.
Carl felt a chill down his spine and had a terrifying realization. If Hamilton was dead, then who was going to pay him?
That's what he noticed? Okay. Oh, anyway, I'll see you guys later.